You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Today, I want to take you through on our Total Wellness Tuesday show the when, where, and how to take your supplements for maximum results. Because most people listening to this show right now have probably used nutritional supplements in the past, thinking about using them in the future, or most likely using them right now of some type. So what I want you to do is I want you to actually use those good nutritional supplements from good quality functional medicine brands, which I'll name some in a moment. But really what I want you to do is I want you to get the most out of them. So most good nutritional supplements probably cost somewhere around $30 to $50 per bottle. And that's because they're using high quality herbs, typically wild or organic. The minerals will be from a good quality. They won't be like calcium carbonate. They'll be a calcium lactate, or they'll be a magnesium glycinate instead of a magnesium oxide. So you're getting a good quality nutritional supplement from brands that you can trust. And of course, our brand is the Equilibrium Nutrition brand. But in my practice in Boston, we have over 50 different brands. Literally, all we do is look for best in category. Who has the best nutritional supplement at the correct dosage shown by research, meaning like not just a little sprinkle in there for marketing purposes, but actual at the dosage used in research. And then who has the best price? Who does third-party testing? So we look at all of those things because I want to take them myself. I want to give them to family, give them to friends, and give them for all the people that I care for my practice. And I put my name on that. So I want to make sure that we're going with good brands. Those brands are anything from Thorne Research to orthomolecular medicine to pure encapsulations to integrative therapeutics, Barn Biologics. There's so many great brands. So the only reason we created Equilibrium Nutrition is only for products where another one does not exist. That's what we need in our practice, because the truth is they're just unbelievably expensive to make good quality nutritional supplements, and you need to buy like 1,000 or 2,000 bottles at a time up front before you even sell them. So it's very, very expensive. So we pick and choose very carefully, and it's simply if I need it in my practice, that's when I have to create it. And oftentimes I will then offer that online, obviously, at our store, just stephencabral.com/store. And at that store, you'll also see all the different brands that we carry. Not everything we have in our offline practice, but pretty much all of the most popular things. So now let's get into how to take all of those good nutritional supplements, meaning like there's essentially, let's say 6 times, 7 times per day that you could take nutritional supplements. And I want to break down which products you would use at what time. So we start our day upon waking, after you brush your teeth, swish some water around your mouth, whatever you do first thing in the morning, do it, use a tongue scraper. When you take nutritional supplements on an empty stomach, very specifically, you do that because you do that when your stomach acid is at its lowest point. So this allows things like probiotics to move through without getting broken down as much by hydrochloric acid, right? So what I look to do is if someone's on a candida-based protocol, that's where they're going to be using their herbal-based products that kill yeast. They're going to be using their systemic enzymes like the proteolytic enzymes or the enzymes that break down the biofilms over yeast, candida, parasites, Lyme, any of those things. They're going to take those first thing in the morning, okay? Because I need those not to digest food, but I need them to go right in and work on the gut, work on all 25 plus feet of the intestines, okay? So it's really, really important. I'll also use in the morning neurotransmitters. So if I'm working with someone that they're using 5-HTP, or maybe they're using GABA, I'll have them use it then like on an empty stomach because I know that that's going to give them that little spark, that little boost that they need. I'll also use thyroid-based supplements, like products that would contain maybe potassium iodine, or they contain some selenium, or they contain tyrosine, something like that. Now, I'll have them use that right upon waking as well, instead of, maybe someone's thinking about using that or Synthroid or some type of, T4-based synthetic thyroid medication. I'll have them use this instead. One other thing that I might have them use as well is bile. So I don't use that with meals because bile from just a standpoint of an actual acid-based standpoint, bile is a little bit alkaline. It's about an 8.8 in terms of pH. So if the stomach is supposed to be very acid, like between a 2 and 3, when we're digesting food, well, we don't really want to mix a lot of alkaline things like alkaline water or bile or things like that with our meal. So I take those away from the meal. Very simple. You can take it before a meal, like 30 minutes before a meal. That would be okay. But I just prefer to make it easy for people upon waking and before bed as needed. So let's go into the next part of our day. So that would be with breakfast. Okay, what should we do with breakfast? Well, one little caveat is that if you're taking things like oregano, caprylic acid, Pau d'Arco, any of those things that will kill yeast or kill bacteria, you'll probably want to take your probiotic at breakfast instead of upon waking, because I don't like to mix the herbs and the different nutraceuticals that can actually kill yeast and bacteria with my healthy bacteria, okay? So that's something that we do in our Candida and bacterial overgrowth protocol, and obviously that's always spelled out in that protocol. So for breakfast, that's where we're going to use our energizing nutritional supplements, vitamins, minerals, herbs, anything like that, and food-based, so the ones that actually work well with food. So if you use our daily activated multivitamin, then you'll simply take 2 in the morning with your breakfast, and then you'll take 2 with dinner. If you're taking a B vitamin, great time to take your B vitamin would be with breakfast. If you're taking a thyroid product and it contains zinc or copper, you won't take that on an empty stomach, but instead you'll take it with food, because zinc on an empty stomach can be really brutal. Like, people can get very, very nauseous from that. So I found just over the years, much better just to recommend taking it with breakfast. Okay, so that's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. 80% of the people in my practice use the daily nutritional support shake. So that's just the powder that we recommend. That's a full multivitamin, minerals, B vitamins, antioxidants, 15 grams of vegan hypoallergenic protein. Literally the best thing that you could do for your body, just a little over $2 or so per serving, and it covers about 12 different vitamins for the day. So in that case, you wouldn't need to do your multivitamin. If you're someone who's a little low in energy, very stressed, you could certainly do 1 extra capsule of the activated B vitamin. That would be fine. And you could still take your thyroid or probiotic or whatever you would like with that smoothie in the morning. Now, mid-morning, I don't recommend a lot mid-morning or mid-afternoon. I don't like to do supplements all throughout the day. I like them basically front-loaded in the day, back-loaded in the day, but I don't want to make things too complicated for people. I want to make things realistic. So here's what I do. The only thing I might use mid-morning are certain neurotransmitters based on how they're feeling at certain times of their day. I might use a product like Cortisol Manager before lunch if they tend to get high, exaggerated cortisol at that time of the day. Because again, remember, things like Cortisol Manager, phosphatidylserine, which is the product in it, that lowers cortisol a couple hours later after taking it. So we want to take that into consideration. And then herbal tea. Maybe someone wants a green tea as a little pick-me-up mid-morning rather than doing another coffee, which I would more highly lean towards that way. Okay, so for lunch, what would we do at lunch? Well, lunch is going to be a little bit more straightforward, except for the fact that your digestive system is strongest at lunch. Okay, they've known this now for 6,000 plus years. Ayurvedic medicine says digestion, largest meal a day, should be lunch. So here's what we do. If you're doing a prenatal vitamin, you might do 1 prenatal at breakfast, 1 with lunch, 1 with dinner. You might also do your omega-3 that comes with our prenatal vitamins, orthomolecular's product, at lunch. You'll take your vitamin D at lunch. You can also take it at breakfast, but I usually do it at lunch. You'll take a daily digestive enzyme at lunch if it's a whole food meal, if you choose to. You might take betaine HCl if you're using HCl with protein meals, or you might just use ginger tea, which we lean towards a lot of the time in our practice. You can use energizing herbs at this specific point as well. So meaning like you can use your herbs for breakfast or upon waking. That might be an adrenal-based product like Support Adrenal. It might be HP Adapt. It might be Adrenal Response Complete Care. You can use that breakfast and lunch, the energizing herbs, and you can also use a second B vitamin. So our activated B vitamin, the full serving is 2 capsules, but not everybody needs 2 capsules. And in that case, you'll just pick breakfast or lunch. If you get a lull mid-afternoon, well, a B vitamin at lunch will certainly help with that. So that's my lunch. I'll often add the harder to digest things like maybe an omega-3 capsule at lunch or your omega-3 oil. That can work fantastically well too. So really like that. That's what I'm doing mainly for lunch. Nothing really mid-afternoon, very, very little. So mid-afternoon might be just an herbal-based tea, ginger tea as a digestive, something like that. Now, mid-afternoon might also be a little snack. So very easy to digest. It might be a cup of berries. It might be, nuts if you're doing that. There's a lot of different things it can be. But it's not a time of the day where I'm typically using neurotransmitters or anything else for that matter because you're winding down your day. Okay, so dinner time. Now, dinner time, I'm switching over to my anabolic minerals. So and also nutraceuticals. So what does that mean? Well, it means some things are better taken at night because they help rebuild the body. Now, in the evening time, the sun's going down, cortisol levels are dropping, our catabolic state is starting to decline, and our anabolic state is starting to pick up. What is also starting to pick up is our body's detoxification, our body's ability to repair itself. I'm going to take full advantage of that. So my thing is, as melatonin starts to go up, I want to just work with that process. So I'm going to increase zinc. If someone's taking zinc during the day, they're taking it with dinner. Okay. Now, if it's in a other product, like I talked about before, like with the thyroid product, well, that's earlier in the day. The thyroid might be it's definitely upon waking, or if not, it's at breakfast and lunch. But anything energizing is the first half of the day. So this show is actually popular request by a lot of different health practitioners. Hopefully, it's helping other people as well, and it's not getting too complicated. But again, you can always just replay these. So zinc at night, glutamine at night, whether it's with dinner or before bed, vitamin C at night. All of these things. Think of all the things that you would use to repair the tissue in your body. And then also think about all the calming and sedating minerals and herbs, potassium, magnesium glycinates, herbal products, any of the herbal products, ashwagandha, fantastic at night. If you're doing your multis, well, you can do 2 in the morning, 2 at night, as long as it doesn't energize you. Psyllium husk fiber, I'm big on using that at night as well with a nice glass of water. You can do it before dinner, after dinner, during dinner, whatever works for you. Again, we're not drinking too much liquid, but the fiber, great for cholesterol, blood pressure, satiation, weight loss. Loose stool, all of those specific things. So again, think tissue repair and calming with dinner. Also a digestive enzyme, really great with dinner because you want that food out of your stomach before you get into bed. All right, now before bed, 30 minutes or so before bed, I'm using the magnesium citrate with some people. That's the natural calm product. That's going to get into their system quickly, calm down that sympathetic nervous system dominance. I'm going to use maybe calming teas like a chamomile or something like that. That works great too. I'll use something like our deep sleep protocol, which includes a product like Best Rest Formula that has a little bit of melatonin. It has things like lemon balm. It has maybe some valerian, 5-HTP, again, calming the body. I don't use that with everybody, but these things can work really well. It's also at this point where this food's out of your stomach. So again, I'll use the Candida protocol, but I'll also be using those systemic enzymes. So instead of digesting food, we'll allow those to go in. We'll use all sorts of different enzymes depending on if it's a fibrin formation with cardiovascular-based issues, whether it's a biofilm issue, whether it's cancer. We'll use all of these things to help rebalance the body. And then the last thing is again, glutamine, so great before bed for healing the gut, repairing the body, but anytime later in the day is just absolutely fantastic. So these were just a handful of products, but what I try to do was show you families of products. Like, just as a recap, on an empty stomach, that's when you're doing your herbs and your enzymes and anything to wipe out the bacteria, candida, things like that in your gut. You're using neurotransmitters away from food. They work better that way. You're using your energizing herbs and multi and thyroid and B vitamin, all those things the first half of the day with breakfast and with lunch. With dinner, you're using calming products. Anything hard to digest, try to put that at lunch, like the omega-3 oils, lunch or dinner. Probably not with breakfast. You don't want it to weigh you down. That's essentially how I use products in my practice. And again, this is over thousands of actual clinical appointments. I've got to see these things play out in the real world. They work fantastically well with myself and with everyone that I do care for in my practice. So hopefully this was helpful. And if you're a health practitioner, start to implement some of these things in your practice. I would love to hear if you enjoyed this episode, if this is an episode that you would like more information on, or if you would like other shows that are more practical based, like how to implement these things in your life or in your practice. So as always, if this show could help anyone, do feel free to pass it along to them. And I also wanted to say a special thank you to everyone who's been reviewing the Cabral concept on iTunes. I absolutely do appreciate each and every one of your listens. And we're going to be announcing the winner of our Withings fitness tracker very, very shortly. So just once again, thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of your listens. I truly do.
Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols,